Welcome to Your Daily Writing Habit, episode number 956. If you are writing a book or thinking about it, or maybe you've started writing your book but you need some help getting it done, you are in the right place. Good morning, everyone. Happy Writer Wednesday. I'm your host, Christine Whitmarsh. If you're looking for me online, look for Christine Inc., like that stuff we write with. Each day, I'm sharing with you the writing habits I've learned over my 20 years as a ghostwriter, book coach, and author. I have found that three things in particular have a huge impact on your success as an author, and they even have the ability to turn someone who barely sees themselves as a writer into a published book author. Those three things are writing fundamentals, productivity, and mindset habits. And once again, good morning, everyone. Happy Wednesday, happy Writer Wednesday, happy December. Oh my goodness, really? It's December. Anyway, each Wednesday I share a quote that is pertinent to writing or being an author, all that other good stuff, and then I find a way to apply it to your writing. Here is this week's quote. Writing is a form of therapy. Sometimes I wonder how all those who do not write, compose, or paint can manage to escape the madness, melancholia, the panic, and fear which is inherent in a human situation. Greene. And that's a great quote because it applies to so many of the reasons that people write memoirs, my specialty area and my book coaching practice. And, my memoir clients tend to follow a similar course when it comes to their varying reasons, their evolving reasons for writing their book. It's kind of funny because it's so universal amongst all of them. So the first part of the project starts with a perfectly reasonable, justifiable reason, like establishing themselves as an expert in their industry by sharing their story, or they want to use a book as a segue to speaking engagements or create products or online programs. So the first part of the project, they have very logical, realistic adult motivations for writing their book. And those are always very good because they come and play at the end of the project when you're looking for the next step. But then, about midway through spilling their story onto the page, midway into their memoir project, deep into the therapeutic effect of writing a memoir and slightly giddy from the experience, sometimes logic goes right out the window and they say things like, "This feels so amazing. Now I just want to keep getting it out on paper. I don't even care if it ever becomes a book. This feels great." So that's the therapeutic high from the memoir writing process. And then finally, Act 3 of the project, with the finish line in sight, noticing they've written an actual book, the big picture comes into focus and they say things like, "Oh my God, I've written a freaking book. I can't wait for people to read this. There is so much I can do with this I never thought of before." So that jumps back to the initial motivations like speaking engagements and products and becoming an expert in their industry. So it circles right around and then they get very excited about writing their next book, of course. It's like potato chips. And this happens really every single time. And I won't deny it, being a coach and collaborator on this emotional roller coaster, the memoir author journey, turning non-authors into authors, this is one of the greatest joys of my life. And of course, there are other plot points woven between those acts, those pieces of the book project, those ups and downs and highs and lows and frustrations and insane laughter, challenges, questioning one's sanity, questioning reality, and triumphs, all the different things. I tend to be the Sherpa that keeps them from falling off the side of the emotional Everest. The point is, no matter what the initial motivation for writing a book, the therapeutic aspect of sharing one's life stories, sharing oneself with others, ultimately deepens all the other aspects of the book. The writing improves, the structure strengthens, disconnected ideas find a way to get connected, and the relationship with the reader becomes real. That all comes from the therapeutic aspect of writing a memoir, which is why it's my most passionate area of my work. So what motivates you to write might well change several times during the book writing process. And how couldn't this happen? Life changes as you write your book. And if it didn't change leading up to it, you wouldn't have a book to write in the first place. So what motivates you to write? And for those of you writing or have already written a book, how did your motivation change throughout the process? So put some thought into this, do some journaling, and if you'd care to share it with my Inc. Authors group on Facebook, I know we'd like to see your responses. Check the link in the show notes, Inc. Authors on Facebook. What motivates you to write? So recapping today's quote, writing is a form of therapy. Sometimes I wonder how all those who do not write, compose, or paint can manage to escape the madness, melancholia, the panic, and fear which is inherent in a human situation. Greene. Thank you for joining me here on Your Daily Writing Habit, where I am helping you write and finish writing an awesome book. Until tomorrow, happy writing.